Hi guys, welcome back to Log Cabin Gaming. As you can see, the table is looking pretty good now. These are the two pieces covered and put together. You probably can't see it on the camera, but there's a faint kind of fold mark along here, which is where I hung it up on the line, so to dry out, to get rid of the smell. So just be careful with that. If you can lay it flat, that would be better. I don't think it's going to be an issue long term because the battle mat will go over it. What I've done on this side is last night I glued the undersides down. Obviously we didn't need to do it on that side, but that side and that side. And very annoyingly, what I found is on one of the sides I've only got like about 15-20 mil max lip. You can see on the other side I've got quite a nice chunk to be able to fold down. But it was when we came to cut it, I think we cut 2.5 meters per side, and roughly 4 foot is about 2 meters 40. So it actually only gave me 10 centimeters. So when you're ordering your leather, order it for 5 meters 20, I would, and then that gives you that extra side. It's annoying, but it's not a problem. What it means is I've only got a little lip to play with, so the glue is not really going to work. I'm probably going to have to use double-sided tape or something just temporarily, just so we can, when we come to put on the wooden edges, it just doesn't get in the way. But once they're screwed on, it's not going to be an issue. I'm not going to dwell too long on this bit because I don't want to kind of teach you guys, you know, I'm sure you can all cut a straight line-ish and glue something down. It's like wrapping a box, and also I'm not very good at it, so but I will show you just what I'm doing. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to flip this over to reveal the underside. Okay. Now, what we're going to have is we've got two of these. We've got the main playing surface and the bottom. What I'm going to do for the bottom, I'm going to cut it flush to the edge. So I've got this bit of wood here. You can use whatever you want if you've got a spirit level or just anything with a straight edge, just to steady your hand. I've got a couple of these G clamps I'm going to put in just to hold them in place. There we go. I'll get my knife, and this is just on the bottom side. We are going to cut this away. Okay. Take these off. And then now we should be able to just see if we pull the bottom side tight, this glue is not actually that great. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to spray the underside again, and then when that's dry is what you're going to see me do is I'm going to glue this here and wrap it over, yeah, like that, but making a mitre cut here. So I'm just going to go straight across. If I go from the corner, I'm just going to do a mitre cut here. One there. One here. Okay. when we fold it up. You want to roll that down. Okay, that's how it's going to look. Hi guys, so what I've done off camera is I've glued the bottom side and I flipped it onto the other bit of table so its weight will keep it pressed. Then what I've done is I've just gone and scored, I've cut the edges along on the other two sides. So now what I've got is I've got these two mitered joins to do, this side and that side. Unfortunately, this was what I was talking about, where you know, it just kind of comes, it's not quite long enough to reach over, but that's fine, it's not going to be a problem. What I said is we'll get a bit of double-sided tape or something just to hold it in place, so when we go to screw our battens it doesn't get in the way. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to grab some glue. I'm going to grab some glue, and I've got these pint glasses here to use as weights, just to keep the fabric pressed down. So this was the one that we did earlier. I'm going to spray that. And we're just going to pull it as tight as we can and go over the top, spreading it out. Okay. While it dries. Remember, any spillage can be just cleaned up with a dab of white spirit before it dries. Gives you a cleaner finish. Same for the other side. Pull it as tight as you can. Okay. There we go. I'm going to wait for that to dry. Right, welcome back. So the glue has dried, but being kind of not that great, I've stuck in a couple of staples just to stop it peeling back. But and I've taken the tables outside and butted them up against each other, because now what we're going to do is we're going to fit these cabinet clasps to them. And what that does is it will connect the two pieces together. So yeah, we're going to do that. So I wanted them flat as possible and next to each other. And this is kind of was a good area. I've put a protective sheet down so it doesn't damage the leather. But yeah, let's go and do that now. So I reckon I'm probably going to try and get 4 across here. So maybe if we put one here, and then every 12 inches. $34, $22, $10. So what we're going to do, the first thing we're going to do is screw the main bit on here. Okay, so I reckon that's going to go something like that. Let's lift that up. I'm just going to take my measurements so I can do the rest of them. 16 mil, okay. Now I've got some, because we've only got 12mm ply to play with, I've got some really tiny screws here, 12mm long, but with the leather and the metal, they'll be fine. So I'm going to put this one through. Pre-drill that a bit. Pop it through. And this is just the paranoia in me. I'm going to lift this up, double check. It's not come through. Yeah, that's fine. That's good. And then for this one, we're going to pull it as far as it can go. See that? Pull that as far as it can go. I'm going to mark one hole. But what I'm actually going to do is go a smidgen behind it, so it's actually, it forces it to stretch. Okay. So when we go there, okay, so now hopefully when we do this, oh yeah, we get that lovely sound and that lovely action. Okay, so I'm going to do this for the other 4 clasps, and then we'll be back. And here we have all the clasps done, so there's 5 of them there. Whilst we're here, it's a good time to show you, this is how close the 25mm bolts kind of came out. I did one by accident and then realised that it's not going to be enough, so that's why earlier on the episodes I did the 40mm one. The 40mm ones are a lot easier to thread through, but these ones actually look nicer, they're flusher. But what I had to do was, it was a bit of a pickle to actually get them to thread, and once you got them to thread, I then applied a bit of super glue onto them so they wouldn't unthread as the table is getting moved and moved. But that's down to your personal preference. I think the easiest thing to do is go for the 40mm bolts, but if you want to try the 25mm, by all means, go ahead. All right, let's get this bad boy inside and reassembled for the next step. Welcome back, guys. We got the table set up now, and it looks pretty great actually. I really like it. It's all flat at the top, which is nice. So all that movement has been taken out, because now that they're clasped together, we've got a nice strong base. So the next thing we're going to do is we are going to frame the table. So you're probably noticing these boards are a bit big. They're not the ones that I bought the other day, because I thought they were a bit too small. Once I kind of covered them with the leather, I didn't account for that, so I went back, changed them out for these larger 69mm boards. So what I probably want to do, and it's going to be, it's going to make them stronger as well. Rather than screwing them through the bottom there, I'm probably going to screw them halfway through, so we've got up and down, so it frames the table all the way around. You can't really see it from there, but trust me, it'll look good. First thing I'm going to do now, because it's been really annoying me, is to do the edges here. I want to do the 2 end pieces, and then we'll do the straight lengths. So I'm going to measure these now because we've got the extra leather on it. It is 122 centimeters, so 1220 mil. Yeah, 1220. So that is the width, and that's where I'm going to cut my miters. I'm going to take this outside and cut some miters. So 45 degrees, we're going to go beyond it. 45, so then it will butt up nicely with that one. Okay, 1220 is where I want my internal measurements. So I'm going to mark this up and then we'll take it outside and cut it on the miter saw. I'm going to start a little bit in because I don't want to start there. I want the internal to be 1220, not the external. So let's just go in 15 there. I'll now take it to 1270. So I've taken my piece of wood outside, put it on the miter saw. There is a laser level here that you can kind of see in the light. So that's where that's going to be. That's going to be my first cut. And then we are going to mark out 1220. The second one. Let's make our first cut. Lovely. Okay. Okay. Move the miter saw the other way, 45 in the opposite direction. There we go. Lovely. Right. Let's take that inside and see how we're looking. Right, here we go. And that goes there. There isn't pretty good. Great, I'll get that fixed up. We'll cut another piece identical to this to put up in the corners, and then we'll see where we go from there. Right, what we're doing is I've got my mitered bits here, if you could see. Check that out with the laser though. Now that the light's gone, that's pretty cool, right? And that's how you get good miters. Right, so what I'm going to do, this is one of the original bits of wood that I bought earlier, and it broke, so I couldn't take it back, so I'm keeping it as a sizing piece. So what I'm doing is I'm just making this little kind of batten here. I've got my nail gun, and it's got a setting on it that doesn't drive the nail all the way through, so you can pull it out afterwards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to temporarily fix this batten on to my you know, sideboard, if you can see that. And what that's going to do, is that's going to give me a sizing there. So if you have a look, it's making a lip. So that's going to give me a uniform sizing all the way around, so I get the height how I want it. And then that gives us this exact lip on the top, but roughly in the middle, and a bit of a lip at the bottom under there. So it just basically finishes the table off nice. Then we can pull, once we've kind of marked our holes, we can pull the nails out and this batten will fall off. So I'm going to go line this all up, clamp it in. I've got some clamps here. Clamp it in, and then we'll see how we get on. Okay, now that we've got it clamped in place, we've got it pinned at both ends, we're going to drill some pilot holes into the wood, which is roughly 40mm from the top or 30mm from the bottom, which we've measured from the exposed side. I've obviously got my two other sides to go on afterwards, and the trick, actually, there was a trick to get in there was a nice trick to get in the right height, and it didn't involve a tape measure at all. All I ended up doing, let's see if I can show you, is I took my bit of wood and I laid it across that way, and I clamped it down, and then with another bit of wood where it I just rested it there, and that's obviously with a natural centre. Swiped up with a pencil, same on the other side, swiped up with a pencil, and then that gave me the lines, and then I just, did my normal angle to show the direction of the cut, and that worked really well. So that's how I did all the other ones, and I'd recommend doing that. But like I said, I'm not a carpenter, you might have better ideas. Right, so here we're going to go 40mm from the top. May as well make this. If we go 60 by 40, because the clamps at the moment, let's go 30 from the bottom. Okay. There you go, I've got a pilot hole. I'll do that to the other two bits. 60 from the end. Up. And where the lines meet, and then we're going to have one roughly in the middle, so 25, 62 and a half. We get 30 up. Cool. Do these two pilot holes. Just making sure I don't come up through the top of the leather. I'm really paranoid about that. After all this hard work that we've done, but we should be bang in the middle of the ply. Cool. All right, I'm going to go outside, take these tacks out, get some screws, screw them in, and then we'll be back. And there we have it. That's the first side done. There was a bit of fiddling to do. You can't really tell on camera because when you see this all edited, it's going to be instant. But yeah, there was a bit of fiddling. It didn't look quite straight, so I had to re-measure it and then just did it by... I kind of just made sure it was the same size from here to there as it was there. And then just knocked it up a couple of mil, and then that's pretty much sorted it. So visually that all looks good. I've gone ahead and cut the two sides here, so I'm going to fit them. I'm going to go around and fit the rest now, but what we're doing with these sides is we're going to go all the way to the, we're not going to go, obviously we're not going to make a 2.4, 2.5 metre side. We're going to cut it and mitre it as normal. I just demonstrate on here. And then when the two sides of the table go together, they should meet up like that. That's the theory. So again, that's going to take a bit of fiddling to do, okay? But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of the sides on, and then that's probably going to take me the rest of the evening now, the night. But yeah, I'm happy to do that. And then the main bit is I've got this bit on, and that's sorted out one of those annoying folding sides. So that's on this table, that's all four corners sealed now, so there should be no more unflapping of leather, which I'm glad about. All right, I'm going to go and put all these corners on, and then we'll be back. Hi guys, right, that's it. That's the last bit of wood done. As you can see, in my opinion, the table is looking great. It's solid, not going anywhere. Best thing is I'm sitting on the bar stools. It's the perfect height for us to sit. If we were going to play, maybe like a Warhammer Quest or Dungeons and Dragons or even poker on this table. It's a lovely height. The leather's all trimmed in now, which is great. And yeah, it's all worked out very well. I ended up ditching the batten idea to get the height. It just was too faffy. In the end, it worked out to be a lot easier and smoother for me to just measure the same height and try and keep it all the same there. So yeah, that was a lot quicker. So it was a nice convenient 30 mil. So I just made sure before I put the screws in, I leveled it up to 30 mil, screwed it in. We had no tears in the leather, which was good. And I've cut one extra piece here. I don't know if we'll end up doing it, but this is worth doing if you do want to do it. So as you can see, I've mitered the long edge. So when the table snaps open, this is quite a cool little thing. I snap the tables apart, pull it there. You've got two half tables really. You see how these are mitered, but this side and that side have been done. So if you wanted to, you could put a fourth side in there, and here you could play something maybe like Warcry, or half a game, or maybe a meeting engagement or something, 4x4. So that's great. The only thing is you can't screw this side in, so I may look into doing something hinged. I don't know. It's something for the future, but that's just something to bear in mind if you do want to do it. But if you notice, look how wobbly these tables are. If you remember from the earlier videos, as soon as we butt them together and snap them shut, you lose all that wobbliness and the table becomes very sturdy. You just line these up. That's it. So we're pretty much there. You could use the table now. You could play on it. What I'm going to do for the next step, I take these off one at a time or a couple at a time, and I'm going to stain them. I don't want to stain them while they're on here because I know I'm just going to end up painting the leather and I'm going to regret that. So I'm going to take these off, stain them probably a dark oak colour, and then screw them back on. I'm only going to stain the insides and the top and the bottom. I'm going to leave the outside because I want to put some wood filler in the screws and maybe in the corner, sand that down, and then I'll stain the outside while it's all on, and then should get a nice finish. But yeah, that's it. I'm very pleased with how this is coming on. We're pretty much there. Just a couple of cup holders and some power sockets to fit, and we're there. Plus working out how to attach it to the wall. Well, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next episode. And yeah, good luck. Let me know if you decide to do a table like this. Feel free to email me or message me. There's lots of pointers that I've done wrong along the way that I'm happy to share to kind of make you avoid doing that and getting it easier. All right. Well, happy gaming, and we'll see you on the next one. See you later.